Welcome to this week's episode. So today we are sailing from Dieppe to Saint-Valery-En-Caux.
So we have to enter in a drying area, so we have to get our tides right and get in. So you'll see the marina that we end up at, and also the exciting once in a yearly episode tractors clearing the entrance channelway on the way in.
Yeah, and we really show you today all of the Normandy tides are pretty extreme. So where we are, it is a 10-metre high and a 0-metre low. So it's pretty important to get your tides right around this piece of coast. Yeah, hope you enjoy the episode. So that's Jude up in the cockpit, filming the depth gauge. We're still in Dieppe, going to leave today to Saint-Valery-En-Caux, and we're aground. So it's exceptionally low tides. Tomorrow there's going to be a negative tide of minus 0.1 meters, which means the tide is actually lower than chart datum. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And so when we came in, this place is dredged to 4.5 meters below datum, so we didn't really do much checking. And we came back to the boat last night after dinner, and the water line was a little bit high. The whole place was bubbling, yeah, it turns out it's 1.5 meters deep at low water. And that's with a 0.2 meter tide, so it's going to be 1.2 meters in tomorrow's tide. But it's soft mud on the bottom. Anywhere that's dredged will be soft mud on the bottom usually. If not, it's going to be sand. So we just settled, and you can tell by looking at the place, like all around the edges of the marina went at low tide and mud. So all that happens is our keel sinks down into it. We are 5 tons, well, the production weight of this boat is 5 tons. We're probably 6 or 7 with all of the fuel, water and belongings. So yeah, we just sink into it, and then when the tide comes back in, we float back up, and everything's fine, so it's not a problem. It has focused our minds though. Saint-Valery-En-Caux is 2.5 meters above chart datum on the entry. We have 7 or 8 meter tides here, so it's not a problem. There'll be 6 meters of water when we go in there at lunchtime. But once we're in, we're behind a gate, and we need to check that the tide behind the gate is actually high enough for us to safely stay in there. So we're going to go and do that now. But a bit of excitement first thing in the morning. Well, a bit of excitement last night and a bit more excitement this morning because it's slightly lower this morning. But these things happen when you're sailing.
As you can see, we are now underway again. We've left Dieppe. We had to wait, I think Dave explained earlier, for the tide, so that we had enough water under our keel. But yeah, we've now managed to leave. The unfortunate thing about all the timings here, I guess we could have left different, I don't know. Anyway, the unfortunate thing is that we're now fighting the tide. We've got about 2.6 knots against us, so we are currently motor sailing. We've got like less than 10 knots of wind, so would be enough to sail normally, but as they've got 2.6 knots of tide against us, it's not really working. So we're going about, I think, 6.9 through the water, and only about 4 over ground. Yeah, right. 4 over ground. And we would really, if we didn't have the sail up, I reckon we'd lose probably about a knot of that. So we are sailing officially. Sometimes we say we motor sail, and then I don't really think the sails do much, but today they are real motor sailing. But yeah, so we are aiming for, sorry, radio, aiming for Saint-Valery-En-Caux, I think is how it said. I'm not really sure. Valerie. Anyway, we'll work that one out later.
Saint-Valery-En-Caux.
Yeah, but I don't know if it is Valerie.
It is.
Oh, okay.
V-A-L-R... Hang on. V-A-L-E-R-Y.
Yeah, but you wouldn't normally say the last letter. So is it Valerie? Or something. Anyway, when we get there, we'll work it out. But yeah, so that's what we're aiming for. We do have to enter there at either 2 hours either side of high tide, and there's a sill and they open a bridge and all of that, so we're hoping all of that works in our favour. If not, we've got backup plans of either back to Dieppe or forwards to Fécamp, but Fécamp has not enough water for us, so it would be tricky when the tide's low, because we are currently in springs, which we did not really plan for and realise how extreme their streams were, because at Dieppe in a few days time there's negative like 0.1 metres of it, and we were only sat in like a metre of water, it turned out, in an area that's meant to be dredged to 4.5 metres. So based on that, we are a bit worried about anywhere we go from now on in France. I think maybe we've made a mistake of this, but not really anything that we've ever heard of before. Like even reading reviews, there's a few, like obviously Fécamp has a few reviews about the depth and that there's shallower patches, but not any more than that. So yeah, we'll see where we get to today, and keep you updated.
So it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and we arrived at Saint-Valery-En-Caux yesterday, I don't know, about 3 o'clock, something like that, 2 o'clock. And when we arrived it was high tide, which was nearly 10 metres of tide. As you can see behind me, the tide has obviously dropped. It's the biggest of big springs at the moment, so it's 10 metre high and 0 metre lows. So we thought we would get up and show you guys what the entrance is like here at Saint-Valery. So if I turn around the camera, so that's the sluice gates on this side, and then the other side there is a flap gate which keeps the tide in from about 2 hours either side of high water. There's some complexity, look up in the book if you come here. But as we came in over a 3.5 metre drying height, which as a sailor everybody will tell you stay away from the green bits on the chart, is lesson 1 pretty much of sailing. But to get in here you have to come over the green bits on the chart, green bits being land for those of you that aren't used to using charts, and so quite scary. And then it's a narrow entrance. It was a northerly wind into an entrance on the north coast, where there are warnings against coming in a northerly wind, but it wasn't particularly strong. Then once you get in there's a lifting bridge, so we had to wait for the bridge, and then there's current through the entrance there. So it felt exciting. Actually nothing bad happened at all, so it's really easy. Anyway, we will get moving now because we're at low tide. We don't want to miss it, to show you guys what low tide looks like over the entrance where we came in. Okay, we're on the other side of the road now. Excuse any wind noise. So just behind me you can still see the marina over here, and this is the other side of the sluice gates. No water at all. And down there you can see very little water. There's actually slightly more water there now than there was last night when we came and looked, so not really sure what's happening with the tide times, but now should be the lowest of the low tides. Should be lower than it was last night, but yeah, we'll walk down and show you the beach as well, which should be even lower.
So we've come out this morning just to see it at low tide, and it's so cool because they've got diggers in. I did read that this was happening, and trucks, and they're taking out all the rocks from the water. It's so cool. They're just like, oh, sorry, can't hear me there. they're just coming along, loading up the trucks, and then they just drive off at a huge speed to go and unload it onto the beach. But it's so fun to watch. Like, who knew that this would be a highlight?
So we realised after watching for a little while, hopefully we put on the screen and it shows the speed that these guys are driving. At first it was like, oh, these guys must have been dreaming of this since they were about 4 years old. They're just driving at maximum speed around the wall to dump the stuff and come back, and just wildly swinging these trucks around. And then we realised they've only actually got about an hour where there's not water in the channel. So they've got to move as much of the stones as they can within that hour. So they're driving as quick as they can, filling them as quick as they can, and then they've got to get all of the trucks and stuff away from the water before the tide comes in. So yeah, they're really rushing, but it's really cool to see. When the gate first opens on a sunny day, multiple boats prepare to leave the lock. This can be quite scary to watch when you're not used to it, but I guess the locals do it all the time. We are about to leave Saint-Valery-En-Caux, and we went up to pay at the marina this morning. They have a 3 for 2 offer on, which was nice. It makes it fairly cheap, certainly compared to what we were paying on the south coast of the UK. While we were there, they had a notice on the desk that says that Fécamp is closed to visitors, which was news to us.
It's really hard, I think, to find websites and find this stuff. We've done a bit of research since, and Dave's found the Notice to Mariners website now, so that we won't hopefully come up with this issue again.
Yeah, so it's interesting. In the UK, Notice to Mariners can be issued by any authority. So local harbours will do Notice to Mariners. The Admiralty does, the people that look after the voyage. Marinas can do Notice to Mariners. But we don't really have a way of aggregating those, so they're all separate, and you just have to know that they all exist. And there was one recently. We've been sailing in the Solent, I certainly have, for the last 15 years or so, and I didn't know of one of the sources. So when some containers fell off a container ship, there was a Notice to Mariners. I knew that because I was on a forum and somebody said, and I couldn't find it, didn't know where it was. Anyway, long story short, France has one website, all of it aggregated, really nice. The website itself is translated into different languages, so we can turn it into English and that's fine. But the website doesn't work at all on an iPhone, so you can find that there is one, click on it and nothing happens. It's very frustrating. Then there's an app that's incredibly good, and it's got all of the information and it's all on a chart and everything. But that's all in French, so we can find the Notice to Mariners but not read them. but we're making do. We can find them and we can translate them one way or another. And anyway, so Fécamp, the underneath where the visitor pontoon is, gets shallow, just the shape of the harbour, and they are dredging it. So they've closed the visitors pontoon. We're waiting to hear back from the port guys at St-Valery-En-Caux.
Yeah, they very kindly rang Fécamp for us and double checked if there was any space for visitors, because also we don't know when this started, but we left Dieppe and someone left the same day as us. They went to Fécamp, stayed at Fécamp for 2 days. We've been seeing boats in and out on marine traffic, 'cause it's good to watch. We find helpful to watch where people go and validating
And we're
visitor
just
pass.
nosy.
Oh yeah. But anyway, there's been boats in and out, and this morning, to be fair, people did leave. So I'm wondering if it actually closed today.
Yeah.
And we've just badly timed it.
So yeah, and on that subject, don't worry too much about language. Quite a few times I've pointed at things and been understood. If you apologise in French for not speaking French, it generally starts the conversation off better. Whenever you walk into anywhere, just say bonjour and everybody's happy. It's just a polite thing to do in France, and we've noticed quite a lot of people say au revoir when they leave a room as well. Although that's not as common. Everyone seems to say bonjour when they
We did
enter.
our laundry yesterday, and
Yeah.
we went in and said bonjour to all the people that were sitting waiting at one point, and then when they left they were like au revoir, au revoir.
Yeah,
That was nice.
Which is really nice. But anyway, yeah, we went into the port office and we kind of said bonjour, je suis désolé, je suis anglais, je ne parle de français, or words to that effect, which means I'm sorry, I'm English, I don't speak French. We know enough words that we can get by, but
And we're trying.
We're certainly not French speakers. We do try, and we're picking up more as you hear the language. It helps, but they immediately said, no problem, we can speak in English, and they had broken English, but way better than our French. And yeah, they offered to call up Fécamp. Fécamp said no, but they are going to call back sometime after 12, they said, which is unusual because the French take lunch from 12 until 2. So we're going to find out. Anyway, we then had to come back, read the books. Fécamp is 3 hours down the coast, probably slightly more than that because we've got this gate and bridge to deal with. So we're going to leave here at about 3-ish. Then we are going to be fighting the tide to the west, just as we were from Dieppe to here. So it's a 3-hour trip, might take 4 hours. Then the tide turns and will be pushing us that way to the west. And so we've looked along the coast, and the next sensible port is Le Havre. And Le Havre is an enormous major port, so it's got all of the shipping channels and everything you'd expect with that. But the entrance looks easy. It's going to be about 10 o'clock by the time we get there, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. If we wait until tomorrow, then we are starting to run out of time on the tides in the evening. And then to get out in the morning, we have to wait until Sunday because they only open the bridge during office hours, 9 to 5. And the tides obviously move an hour later every day. So there's a couple of days, a tide cycle where you're just not able to come or go.
It's currently Thursday, just in case.
It's currently Thursday, and so yeah, we had a choice to make. We can either wait until Sunday, and there's going to be nice, good weather this weekend for sailing and moving. Then on Monday, less good weather, but then we didn't want to get stuck in here for another week because it's a small place, and yeah, so we are looking to get to Le Havre today. It's looking calmer than the weather forecast said. The breeze out there isn't looking too bad, so we think good day to just do a longer passage and get down to Le Havre. Fécamp is a bit like Dieppe looking at the pictures, so we're not too sorry to be missing it. We are sorry to be missing it. We might actually get there, we don't know yet.
Yeah, they might allow us to go in and maybe on a different pontoon, and we'll maybe then do one day and leave tomorrow.
And
lunchtime or
there's a
something.
fine line in boating between asking permission and being told no,
Yeah.
and just turning up and tying your boat on. Once you're in a harbour, they don't tend to kick you out for safety reasons. So, but it's nice, certainly in a foreign port, to be emailing ahead, calling ahead, saying that you're coming, make sure there's a berth for you, no problem this time of the year generally, because everywhere's empty.
Although apparently everywhere is dredging right now.
Everywhere is dredging right now, as you saw on the Saint-Valery video. And in the summer it's going to get busy, so we'll email ahead for sure then.
Well, we were going to email, but we didn't know until today that we were leaving, because yesterday was still quite windy and quite rough out there. And then we were like, we'll look this morning, and we looked, and we've had a look already, and we'll probably have another look shortly.
Yeah, and it's not just that it's rough.
Oh, yeah.
It's that it's rough. There is a swell coming directly at the shore, and we're going over a beach that we've seen completely dry. So we're a bit more nervous than usual, because if there's any swell, we draw 2 meters. If we're in 2.5 meters of water and there's a 1 meter swell, we're going to hit the bottom. So we don't want that. And but we're sure it's going to be 3.5 meters deep when they first open the gate. We're not going when they first open the gate, so we should be fine. But yeah, with that, we're going to prep the boat, go and have one last look at the beach to see the conditions, and then hopefully set sail.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and please join us next week when we move on to Fécamp and Le Havre. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.